Hi, I'm Kat, and this tutorial is how to make these DIY slip-free hair combs. They've got a rubbery texture in the back so they won't slide out of your hair. This one is a little gradient effect with embroidery floss. This one is some fluffy yarn from one of Martha Stewart's collections, and I did another gradient effect one that I have in my hair. What I love best about these is that you can get these materials in absolutely any color and they're fully customizable. For this you'll need your hot glue gun and glue, your combs. I got a pack of 12 of these for $2.50 at Walmart, some scissors, and your embroidery floss. I chose 4 different colors that fade from light pink to red, and you can get about this much embroidery floss for 30 to 35 cents at any craft store, including Walmart. Start by taking your comb and putting a tiny dab of glue on one end. And then grab your embroidery floss and stick it into the end and around the back. And you're going to pull it around the side and hold that little piece there. And wrap it around maybe the 4th tooth on there. And then wrap it up the side a tiny bit. Don't pull too hard. Wrap it around that same tooth. Around the side again. Wrap it around the next tooth closer to the end you started on. You're just trying to cover as much of that surface as possible with as little embroidery floss as possible. And gradually work your way closer to the end. The corner is going to be the hardest part, so you'll want to make sure you freshen up that hot glue, and you can either add more hot glue or just heat up what's already there. Be very gentle, and then you'll take it up and over the top. And now we can keep going exactly the way we're going to do the rest of this. Add a little glue to the back. And just keep wrapping it until the part that you wrapped around is just about at the middle of the space in the next tooth. And then you're going to double back. Alright, so I've gotten to about the middle of that space there. So I'm going to move it over and backtrack a tiny bit to create a slight overlap. Alright, and now I think I want to move on to my next color, because I'm going to try and get 4 colors in here. So flip that over, and then grab your next color that you want to work with. I'm going to use this slightly darker pink. And I'm just going to tie that in a knot, and make sure that the knot is going to be hidden in the back when I continue wrapping. And then trim it real close. And you're not going to have to worry too much about pulling too hard on this, because even if it were to come undone, you're just going to be wrapping it underneath other threads, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. So put a little tiny dab of hot glue right there and stick that knot in the middle of it. Try and get the ends in there. Careful not to burn yourself though. Give it a second before you dab the ends in. Alright, so that knot is thoroughly plastered in there. And from this point you'll just keep going. So now that I've gotten over the center of my next set of teeth, I'm going to overlap a little bit, just like I did before. And keep wrapping that in there. And just keep wrapping your comb and adding in different colors as you go, being careful not to add too much glue, and remember to just heat up your old glue instead of adding more and getting it really bulky.
Now when you've gotten close to the opposite end, you can see I've tied on my last color, so I'm just going to secure that. Make sure that knot doesn't come undone. And at this point I'm going to start wrapping up the end because I don't want that to come undone. So I'm going to put that over all the way to this second one. Wrap up the side a bit. Again, put it through that second one. And once I've covered up the end, I'm just going to continue my pattern through that very last set of teeth. And once I'm completely done wrapping all of that, I'll just put a dab of glue to secure my last bit of string. Let that dry for a second. And then when the glue is almost completely dry, at this point it's not going to burn me, so I'm just going to smooth it over. And then cut off the excess. Now in order to keep the threads from wearing out or risking getting the thread caught on anything else that's in your hair when you slide it in, I'm just going to put a big dollop of glue all along the back here. And what this is going to do, it's going to make a slightly rubbery texture when it dries as well. So that's going to keep your comb from wanting to slide out of your hair. So just leave that be for a couple of minutes and let it completely solidify. And once the glue is dried, it's firm and rubbery, and that is not going anywhere. And those are your finished non-slip hair combs.